We're going to start things off today singing our opening hymn, number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. Please join us in body and spirit, and enter, rejoice, and come in.
Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Pastor Isabel Call. I use she, they pronouns. And I am very happy to welcome you all to this space here on Zinedale Road and on Zoom. We gather here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Manhattan each Sunday to support each other in our personal and community spiritual growth. Today is our annual threshold service when we recognize those of you present today who are experiencing important transitions in your lives. These include changes in your personal or professional circumstances, or your roles in the fellowship, your family, or other communities. Throughout this service, you'll be invited to consider what thresholds you are in the process of crossing, and there will be a time later to actually physically cross a threshold to symbolize this movement in your life. To engage our theme this month, Awakening Curiosity, consider how your own threshold connects to others. Or, if you are in a space of stability or stasis, stillness, serenity, what does witnessing others cross the threshold teach you about your life, your history, and your future? Our greeter this morning is Shirley Hobrock, and Linda Johnson is our Zoom host. Visitors and newcomers, please know that they're especially available to chat after the service, but others are as well. Thank you to Doug Walter for being our tech lead this morning. And if you see a new face, consider inviting them for tea or coffee in the Allsop Hall after the service. Later, in addition to sharing about our thresholds, we will share our gratitudes, joys, and sorrows that have arisen this week in our lives. You can write these down for me and Linda to read later. If you're here in person, there are little colored pieces of paper in a box nearby, and we'll pick them up later. If you're here on Zoom, you can type them into the chat. We'll tell you later when is the good time for that.
Good morning, all. Good morning. Am I on? I'm on now. My name is Hannah Morgan Phelps. I am the Office and Communications Coordinator, and my pronouns are they, she, and I have our announcements for this week. The first of those are that we have two events coming this Friday. The first is an RE event that we're calling Summer Spark to celebrate the end of the school year and welcome in summer. There will be a bonfire, and we're invited to bring things that we want to let go of from the school year, so kids can bring like old schoolwork, things like that, but also you don't have to be a kid to participate. I'm gonna bring the binder of stuff I printed out to work on my master's thesis. And that is going to be at 5:30 this coming Friday, the 22nd. And after that, we have our monthly board game and movie night. We're going to watch the movie Earth to Echo here in the sanctuary, and we'll play board games in the Allsop Fellowship Hall. It is BYOB, beverage or board game. You may have seen that earlier this week, Jennifer sent out a survey for the equal exchange items that we have and are selling usually in the narthex. Please fill that out. It helps her know what things to be purchasing, what things we want to keep stocked. And if you didn't receive that, send me an email, office@uufm.net, and I will send you the link to the survey. We also have our workday coming up. This is going to be on Saturday the 23rd, starting at 9 a.m. going until noon. There are so many tasks that need to be done, and Dan specifically asked me to request young muscle to help. Yeah. So that'll be this coming Saturday, the 23rd. If you're able to help out, talk to Dan Swenson. Our newsletter content deadline is also coming up. If you have content for the June newsletter, so next month's, that'll come out on the 1st, please send it to me by the 24th at the latest so that I have time to get it in the newsletter. We also have a couple other things. Today's a big announcements day. Michael Oldfather's celebration of life is coming up. That's going to be on the Saturday the 30th at 2 p.m. here and on Zoom. For more information, we have a website that's in the online order of service, or again, you can email me and I'll send you the link. We also are so grateful to the people that we have helping make services happen every week, especially our Zoom hosts, greeters, and tech leads, and they could use some help. So we're doing trainings for all three of those roles. Our greeter training is going to be on the 31st after service at 12:30. Our tech lead training is going to be on the 1st, Monday, at 4 p.m. here in the sanctuary. The greeter training is going to be, I believe, in the narthex? Yes. And then we'll have a Zoom host training Wednesday the 3rd, again at 4 p.m., and that's going to be on Zoom. Isabel will have more information about all of those trainings, and that's what I got. I'll now pass the mic to Katie for our chalice lighting. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Katie Lee Smith, and my pronouns are she, her. I will read the words of Arlen Goff as Sage lights the chalice. Thresholds. We cross them every day, from room to room, from outside to inside, and back again, from here to there, from anywhere to everywhere, from age to age. Each threshold offers an opportunity for change, for renewal, for transformation, from what we were and what we are to what we can be. In this hour and in this place, we cross a threshold from our day-to-day everydayness into space and time attuned to the other, to the sacred, to the holy, into an awareness of new life pregnant with possibilities. How will we be renewed in this moment? How will we be changed by this hour? How will we be transformed through this gathering of beloved community? Come, you longing, thirsty souls, come let us worship together. Now for the hymn, Rising Green, 1068.
While the choir is coming up here, I just want to give a quick note about this. This is a new hymn to us. Singing it a few times this morning with the choir, it is quickly becoming a favorite. So we're probably going to be singing this one quite a few times in the future.
Good morning. My name is Emily Fraser. I'm the Director of Religious Education here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Manhattan. And today is our threshold service, as we've mentioned already. So, wow, there are so many thresholds that a lot of us are sharing in common around this time of year, especially in the RE world. And some of the folks that we might normally see here on Sundays aren't here because of some of these graduation happenings that are happening around town. But there's a lot of different kinds of thresholds or life changes and transitions that we experience in our lives. Some of them are really great and exciting. Some of them are a little, and sometimes even when they are great and exciting, it can still feel like, because there's a little bit of that unknown. But sometimes so today we're still in that month of awakening curiosity. So I would like to invite all of you to take a moment to kind of consider some of the thresholds that you've been experiencing in your life over the past year, or even more recently, if you've experienced a lot and you're like, that's overwhelming. And then maybe talk to some of your neighbors about it and think and approach it with that curiosity about what it might be opening up into. So I'm going to give you all a little time. You can just kind of turn to your neighbors, chat for just a little bit, and I will tell you when to stop.
Jessica, you've had a real transition this year. Crossed a threshold.
Hannah, are you there? Hannah's had a wonderful transition completing her master's program.
Yes.
And I can't repeat what it was, but it sounded like it was a very challenging thesis that she defended and worthwhile.
I don't know that I heard what it was, but I'm glad that she's successfully completed it. And I understand she's going into a PhD program.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's something about making a way for diverse children to participate in debate, or not just children, for people with diverse abilities, divergent abilities to participate in debate, something like that. And I could have it all wrong, but it sounded exciting to me when I read it.
Yes. Can we still use the word diverse?
I think neurodivergent I see lately.
Yes.
But you mean politically, can we still use
Yes.
the
I
word?
mean,
Good question, Linda.
well, my daughter works for a company that does work for special education departments of various states and so forth. And that's a word they have to eliminate from their
Oh, for heaven's
vocabulary.
sake.
Oh, yes. It's
Oh, is that the reason that diverse has become divergent? Oh my
No,
God.
I think so. I mean, we have to,
Yeah, that should work. And
I
honestly,
think that
it's like DEI.
neurodivergent is more an approach to education, understanding that students have many ways of learning. It's neurodivergent is accepting people as they are,
Yes.
whereas diverse is the opposite in those circumstances. You can't
Oh,
you
look
can't
at
honor
the,
people who are diverse, who are not
all right, friends,
like
let's finish up our
Anglo-Saxon male.
sentences.
did you see what Elke Lorenz put up?
And
She's
Yes.
retiring
slowly but
after
surely
23
turn our
years.
Oh
attention
yeah.
back.
Yes, I knew that. That is,
I know, y'all are
that's
having such great
exciting, an
conversations,
exciting
I can
transition
tell.
for her.
It's very hard to wrap them
Oh,
up.
it's,
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I hope you all y'all looked like you were having some fantastic conversations. I know Pastor Izza and I had some great ones up here about some of our thresholds. So thank you for sharing that with each other. There's going to be opportunities for sharing more and doing some more rituals around some of these thresholds later on in the service. But now are going to do our very favorite little singing out of the children, who can follow me to the back if there are any here that would like to.
So I'll begin my brief reflection today acknowledging the world of trouble our country has made for itself. I know a number of things are probably coming up in your minds. Indigenous Americans like the Kaw, Osage, and Pawnee, whose ancestors were removed from this land, and others whose ancestors were removed to this land before being pushed further away, they knew about this world of trouble long ago. Immigrants tend to learn about it quickly if it wasn't what pushed them off their homelands to start with. Most descendants of enslaved Africans are intimately aware of this trouble, which began long before the current wave of disenfranchisement and denial. Some of us don't feel it so personally, or didn't, until some threshold event in the world. As inhabitants of this land, we're diverse. We vary greatly in many things, including in our ability to ignore the world of trouble wrought by self-serving politicians and billionaires, rooted in the extractive legacy of this nation's founding. And so we acknowledge it, together here in this sacred space, to unmask its profanity and to remember the world of love we actually want, and to continue the work of generations to cross over the threshold into the dream we know in our souls is possible. So I want to give you just a couple of breaths to imagine that dream, which is multifaceted, with all of our minds and hearts giving it shape. I invite you to use your abundant collective imagination, a powerful force, to imagine this future, and today, here, to make believe that this line on the floor is our threshold to that future. In her book, Trusting Change, the UU Reverend Karen Herring connects the work of personal transformation and global transformation. She writes, "We can use the potency of a personal threshold to inspire and empower changes we wish to make real on a community or global level. Work to support change on collective thresholds can similarly invigorate and support change in our personal lives. Opening ourselves to one level of change can be an invitation to participate more fully in other levels. Even when the particulars of our personal thresholds are entirely unique to us," she writes, "we are always in the company of others who are also living through shared change." Reverend Herring identifies 10 thresholding practices that we can go through as we undergo the intentional work of transformation. So as I read them, I invite you to reflect on which resonate for you. How are you thresholding or witnessing a threshold this morning? Here are these 10 practices. Letting go. Grieving. Practicing equanimity. Taking part in stillness. Navigating the unknown. Preparing for the journey. Claiming companions. Moving on. Imagining a way. Widening what we trust. These practices are not a to-do list, and they're not meant to overwhelm you. They're not mandatory. Robin Herring writes, "When our personal world is deeply shaken by core losses, we may feel too vulnerable to consider the wider span of global thresholds. You can choose which levels of change you're ready to consider. However," she says, "I do recommend engaging both, personal and global. It will be important for tapping the transformative power of your personal threshold, as well as finding your part in the shared thresholds we're navigating collectively." So one of the terrible thresholds we're experiencing collectively is the weakening of the Voting Rights Act. It's part of my work to accept the realities of this. I've been reading the novel Red Clay by Charles B. Fancher. It's a historical novel set in plantation and small town Alabama in 1864, starting then, going through 1943, so well before the Voting Rights Act existed, though it was in people's dreams. And it centers the experience of one Black family as they move from enslavement into freedom, into Jim Crow, a story of many thresholds. The story follows a child named Felix, whose two older siblings have recently been sold and taken away to Mississippi. Throughout the first part of the book, Felix and his parents, Pleasant and Elmira, cater to the unending physical and psychological needs of the white Parker family, which owns the plantation. While they hold their own grief and fear in check around the politely cruel and oblivious Parkers, Felix, Pleasant, and Elmira witness a series of tragedies befall the white family. Because nothing you can do can protect you from grief and difficulty. No amount of control over other people protects you. So here's a passage of the book set 4 months before the end of the Civil War. The 19-year-old plantation master, Claude Parker, is facing death and illness in his family. Pleasant looked more closely at Claude, and he could see the strain on his face. "Massa Claude don't deserve that," he thought. "But me and Elmira don't neither. Don't nobody deserve the hurt the world can put on you." And then he felt all the anger and all the pain draining from his soul, and he felt something special, something to be cherished, something he knew would be his forever. What Pleasant recognized was the sure knowledge that in his heart and in his soul, he had become and always would be a free man. Sometimes we cross the threshold quietly before others notice, at surprising times when the odds are against us. But there's no denying we've changed. There's no going back, and we don't want to anyway. Other times the threshold is explicit, formal, like the arrival of Union troops where you live, or walking across the stage at graduation. At these events, there may be confusion about how to feel, or there may be pressure to feel a certain way. Usually happy, like when I think of graduations or weddings. Even funerals can be imbued with an expectation of positivity. Unitarian Universalists often call them celebrations of life. And I generally think that's a good thing, but we need to make space for all the emotions. And then there are those thresholds we pretend aren't there, even as we're being shuttled across them, which describes how Claude Parker would deal with the emancipation of his neighbors he had expected to inherit. This tends to cause more grief and harm in the long run. Finally, there are thresholds we wish weren't there, but which we have to find a way to accept anyway. Certainly, we should do our best to avoid harmful change. But part of being conscious is realizing that we're not in control, choosing to stay conscious even as we're moved through terrain we consider ugly or unjust. Carrying the wisdom and joy from our past lives into the future, passing it along, remembering what is sacred. There are many stories, many life stories, and a moment in history, however terrible, compresses it to just one slice of what's happening. But our thresholds, they're portals, they're multidimensional. They represent so much of our lives. And witnessing each other's threshold is an opportunity to witness how varied, how much possibility there is in someone's life. So as a collective, it's true that we will not all get to the other side in one piece as individuals. We're not all going to get to the dream of what's possible for this country in the next 20 or 50 years. I doubt any of us is going to get there when the dream comes true in 100 years. But as a community, we can survive the massive changes underway. We can survive with our love of life intact, as long as we let ourselves change. This individual and collective work takes practice, but luckily we have many opportunities.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Linda Johnson, the Zoom host today. We are now moving into a spirit of generosity, and it's time for our offering. Our weekly offering is an opportunity to open your hearts and empty your pockets to support our mission to be a diverse, evolving spiritual community acting for a better world. Throughout the month of May, we share our gifts with our Helping Hands organization, which this month is the Manhattan Area Resettlement Team. The MART offers assistance to immigrants who have crossed a threshold into a new country. Money placed in the envelopes in the offering basket will go to MART. Unmarked donations will go to the UUFM General Fund to support our mission. We can also donate online to the fellowship, to the Helping Hands organization, and/or the Blessing Box at uufm.net/donate, or with the QR code on your order of service. As the basket goes around, remember that generosity is about so much more than just money. It's also about the ways we show up in the world, assisting a stranger, caring for each other, listening to friends. When the basket comes to you, you may add any written gratitudes, joys, or sorrows. Even if you aren't putting anything into the basket today, you can pause while holding the basket as a ritual of thanks for the generosity of our world. If you're here on Zoom, now is the time to type your gratitudes, joys, and sorrows into the chat, and turn on your camera if you'd like those in the sanctuary to be able to see you. Let us move now into generous presence.
We are living neath the great blue dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We are swimming to the other side. I am alone and I am searching, hungering for answers in my time. I am balanced at the brink of wisdom, and impatient to receive a sign. I move forward with my senses open. Imperfection will be my crime. In humility I will listen. We are swimming to the other side. We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We are swimming to the other side. Loving spirits will live forever. We are all swimming to the other side.
We are living beneath the great big dipper. We are washed by the very same rain. We are swimming in the stream together, some in power and some in pain. We can worship this ground we walk on, cherishing the beings that we live beside. Loving spirits will live forever. We're all swimming to the other side.
Thank you, Renee and Jeff. We've come to the time in our service when we share our burdens and amplify our celebrations, thereby crossing the threshold from the past to the future. Katie, Linda, and I will first read gratitudes, joys, and sorrows you've written down. And I'll drop a stone in the water for each of those. Then we will invite people forward for our threshold ritual to name any transitions underway in your life. I want to invite you to just take a few breaths. Thank your body for bringing you to this moment. And I'll pour some water to connect us to those who've come before. Yeah. Good. And once Shirley sits down, we'll invite Mary Beth back up here.
So I will be the new membership chair. I can't say the word, but you know what I mean. And trust me, you will be hearing from me, because we need more people to be greeters, so you'll hear from me more and more.
That's right. So I hope that folks will come to our greeter training. So again, that's going to be May 31st here. So you can just stay after the service, come hang out with Mary Beth and me and the membership team in the narthex. And other opportunities to hold the space later that week, the tech lead training and the Zoom host training. But we can all learn some new tools and skills about how to welcome new folks to our community. Looks like there's some thresholds, some thresholders here.
Hello. So I'm actually excited to share some thresholds that I believe I also shared in Gratitudes and Joys. We've got one person from our nursery staff team who's transitioning out, Charlotte. Thank you so much for all the love and care you provided to our kids the time you've been here, and we wish you all the best. And you can feel free to jump across this line. Boom, nailed it. I've got a card for you, and you can help yourself to a plant as well if you would like. And then we also have joining our nursery staff, Rose Tanona. Yay! Welcome aboard. We are so happy to have you and very excited to have you join the team. And thank you so much. And yes, take a plant. Go for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Emily.
So I am joining the events team and going to be helping with the fundraising. So this is my new threshold in the congregation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Do you want a plant?
We actually have several changes on the events team that I want to tell the other people to come up. Monty is also joining the events team, and Cosette, who has been our fundraising person on the events team, is stepping off of it and is joining the board.
So you all are welcome to cross the threshold with your feet or just your minds.
Yeah, y'all, I'm really excited about the transition onto being the chair-elect. I'm really excited to transition onto helping our congregation in new ways. And fun fact, I'm also kind of transitioning my gender, so I use they, them pronouns now. So lots of big changes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Cosette. And Monty, I don't know, did you want to say anything? Yeah. Okay, come on.
I was going to tell my girlfriend I got her a plant. I am transitioning to a time in my life where I will be not necessarily isolated or alone, but without my person around me all the time. And that is very scary, but also very exciting. So yeah, all kinds of feelings about that. So thank you.
Blessings for the new space.
I have a little baby goat.
Yes. So, blessings for your new role as a goat caregiver and friend.
Does the goat have a name?
Umbrella. Umbrella the goat. Who else else is crossing a threshold?
As Mac never failed to remind me, this was inevitable. I am stepping from chair-elect to be your all's new chair for the next year. Thank you. A lot of feelings around it, but generally in the positive direction. I am excited. The shifting winds of the world and of Manhattan and of our fellowship are ones that I surprisingly feel that I might be uniquely situated to help. But I thank you all for putting your trust in me. But since we're doing this calling out other people now, I'll invite Jason and Dick to come step up, two people who are stepping off of the board. Dick has already heard us praise him plenty, but I'm going to do it a little bit more. His humor and down-to-earth attitude have been instrumental in keeping the board focused and on the right track, and it will be hard to try to keep up the humor without you. And then for Jason, as our treasurer stepping down, he has helped to institute some changes with the divided position for a deputy treasurer and a treasurer lead, just to help share the load, something we didn't realize needed to happen. And so I'm very thankful that he stepped up and was honest with us and trusted us with that information. But he never just treated it as numbers. It was always reminding us of the humanity tied to those numbers. So it is a skill that we will endeavor to continue keeping with us. So thank you to the two of you.
I didn't want to say anything else other than you're in really good hands with the people who have been elected to replace the position. And I don't know if they're online by any chance.
Yeah, I wonder if Sarah or Taryn.
But just doing that one.
Taryn?
Yeah, Sarah Desmond will be the lead treasurer for a year, and I've been working with her. She's really great. You guys are in good hands. And then Taryn Warner Cipra will be the deputy treasurer for a year, and then she'll become the lead treasurer. Thank you all.
Thank you, Jason.
I just want to say that the board is in wonderful hands, and I also say that as I transition to going off the board and facing the prospect of a lot of free time, the most significant effect of stepping off the board for me will be to deprive me of an excuse that I've made a lot of use of to avoid household work. I'm sure that Sage will not need to worry about that, or Mac.
Yeah.
Thanks, Katie. Lauren, Clement, he, him. So your list of thresholds, I would check every box, every one of those, something to talk about possibly. I retired in 2019 with Lynn from K-State. This is not the retirement I expected in terms of our national scene or traveling. Just one thing I would add to the idea about trusting change is to act locally as well as globally and personally. So here we are in between those two, I think. Locally supporting each other, working for the common good in our locality, right here in Manhattan and Riley County. My father said many times when he was really pretty old, what you can't avoid, you must endure. And I think that's pretty good advice for us today, to try to take that, but in a positive way, with his family. They went through a lot of hard times when he was very young. And his grandmother was saying to him, and this was her ring, by the way. So that is my great-grandmother, my grandmother and my father wore this ring for his life. And Lynn really has put up with me for 46 years. In marriage, we celebrated yesterday with some friends in Lawrence. So I just want to say this, Dick, everyone here, you are such amazing people. I just feel blessed that we can work through the hard times here together, despite what might be coming into Manhattan in the next year or so, or next few months. Struggling with how to cope with that. How do we deal with that threat to good people? But I think if we stay together, we can really manage. And I'm just glad to be part of this group.
Thank you, Lauren. Let's take a moment and see if there's anyone on Zoom who would like to name a threshold that they're crossing. Okay, more here in the sanctuary. I saw one more, at least.
It feels a little bit silly since it's been said so many times, but this weekend I graduated with my master's degree, and I will be transitioning into a PhD program. So, education stuff isn't done yet, but big step.
Yeah, we're lucky to have Hannah here still in their role as they continue to juggle life as a scholar and teacher and office coordinator and communications coordinator.
Hi guys, I've been kind of MIA quite a bit lately. I've had a lot of people reaching out to me in concern and everything. I've also had a lot of support, and I want to thank everybody. I've been on the events team for quite a while, but not able to really fully participate and stuff. So I just want to say, Hannah and Deb and Cosette and, all the people, Anastasia, all the people who have stepped up to pick up the ball where I was not able to carry it and everything, and welcome to the new members of the events committee and everything. And I've had some health issues and stuff in the last year, and everybody here has been so supportive. This is such a great group to be a part of, and we have such a great community here, and I want to express my appreciation and my love for, I'm looking out here and I don't see a single set of eyes that I'm looking into that have not touched my life in this last 2 years that I've been here. And I know that I've shared with you a lot of the challenges that I've had over the last 2 years, especially with my work situation and stuff. And in the last week and a half, I got a promotion at work. And so I'm no longer going to be stuck in the same situation. I'm actually being promoted 3 levels above where I'm at right now. And it will be actually a remote position. So based in Chicago, so I will be spending part of my time there and part of my time here. So now I'm going to get to meet my granddaughter that was born 2 days before my father passed, and I get to meet her next week, and I get to be Grammy Bear. Yeah, and get to see my grandson, and it's a lot of, like Lauren just talked about what his father said, what you can't, how was that? You can't avoid, you must endure. what you can't avoid, you must endure. And, you know, because of my situation, I was stuck at work where I had to be beholden to the health insurance, and I endured, and moving on now and crossing into another threshold. And, you know, thank you so much to everyone who has endured my my enduring, and, you know, maybe not exactly as responsive as I could have been because, you know, given, you know, my emotional constraints and stuff. But thank you so much for everybody who, all of the support, all of everything. And the new board, the new people coming in, this is exciting. You know, this is a very dynamic group, and, you know, I just see good things ahead for us. And that being said, you know, if I'll have a foot back in Chicago, back in Northern Illinois. If we need the resources of people in Northern Illinois, I will have that, you know, connection to be able to, you know, extend extra helping hands. So thank you so much.
Angie, thank you. Thank you, Grammy Bear.
I'm here for, I don't see Dan Swenson here. For speaking for Dan Swenson, who's been Building and Grounds chairperson for quite a while, and he's done so many things that we take for granted that we have this building, upgrading the constant pain of the gutters, showing up amazingly when the gutters started to just dump inside the Jupiter room, like in the evening. He showed up and helped fix that, and involved in the upgrade of the lighting and the audiovisual here, and being on the mowing team, helping set up the prairie. Just so many things that I can't, anything else, Kathy, that he's done? So many things, and he deserves to have a little time off. And so anyway, so Kathy will probably get to see a little more of him.
Thank you, Sylvia, for acknowledging Dan.
Sorry, I'm Sylvia Beeman.
Thank you, Sylvia. Yes, Dan, we're going to a graduation this afternoon, quite a ways away. So he's driving and he needed to nap beforehand. So I just wanted to say that thank you to Katie, who has stepped up to help me and help others with helping hands and our social action. A lot of our social action is kind of with MIJT, Manhattan Interfaith Justice Team, and representatives of that here have been there, like Sylvia and Diane and John Extol, and don't let me forget people, and Pat. We've had people come to that and do our part there. So it's kind of been a transition, but kind of a gradual moving towards different things. But Helping Hands were meeting after fellowship today, and maybe that was announced earlier, to decide a little bit more about who we want to support next year or this year, 25 or 26, 27. And what the Helping Hands team is a liaison between community social service agencies to select organizations for monthly Helping Hands offerings each year, and to help these organizations communicate their needs to the congregations. So if you want to be part of that after the fellowship today.
Thank you.
Isabel and Katie, this is Linda on Zoom. I just want to add that everyone on Zoom has been sharing appreciation, showing it by sending thumbs up emojis and clapping hands and hearts.
Wonderful. Yeah, we can feel you there.
And thank you to Kathy for trusting me with this great work that you've taken care of so well for so long. Transition for me I think some of you have heard that I was planning to leave this fall to go abroad, but there's just been a lot of signs and factors that I would be remiss to not account for that are just telling me it's not time yet, that there's still work to be done. And so threshold of transitioning from I'm leaving to 1 more year has been hard to adjust to. And to help me with that, I'm going to be more firm about my boundaries.
Anyone else want to come up? We can also come around with the mic. Yeah, will you take the mic to Ken? Thank you, Katie.
Thank you. This is not exactly a transition, but I did put a joy in the box there, and maybe it was overlooked. But Pat and I are very happy and grateful that we have a Catholic nun, Sister Anna, who is the leader of the orphanage that we visit every year in Vietnam, who is visiting us this week. We really wanted to bring her here today, but she's making a presentation at a large Vietnamese Catholic church in Kansas City. Her mission is to recruit donors and monies for her orphanage, which needs to be renovated and expanded. Last year, there was a really harsh monsoon season while we were there in December, and it destroyed part of the orphanage. They need a new roof. She is a great lady. Wish we could bring her here, and I think we're going to try to bring her to the Monday night dinner. So if you would be interested in contributing to her, I have some information on how you can do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Well, let us move into some quieter time now. We'll have just a bit of music. And if anybody else would like to cross the threshold, or if you need another pass, now is the time. You can also come and drop a stone in the water to symbolize anything that's on your heart, anything you're letting go of.
Now I invite you to join us again in body and spirit as we sing our final hymn today, number 195, Let Us Wander Where We Will.
Feel free to rise.
Familiar
is going to extinguish our chalice while I read us some closing words that we sang earlier. My foot carries days of the old into new. Our dreaming shows us the way. Wondrous our faith settles deep in the earth, rising green to bring a new day. Rising green, rising green, rising green to bring a new day. Follow your feet, follow your heart into this new day.